Welcome to Bleav In 76ers with your hosts, former 76ers point guard Eric Snow and two Sixers fanatics in Marcus and Teja Dash. Bleav In 76ers is presented by BetOnline.AG.
BetOnline is your number one source for all your sports betting needs. Get the latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use promo code BLEAV for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, where the game starts. We've got a great new sponsor here at Bleav In 76ers podcast. And I got to say, I love betting with my friends on pretty much anything, sports, games, you name it. And that's what the Kutt App allows us to do. The Kutt App is a peer-to-peer social betting platform that's legal in 40 plus states. Kutt has customizable odds, tracking capabilities, and an entire social network with group chats, user profiles, and rewards. And the best part is, all payments are on the app as well. No need for Venmo. So, to get started today, use our promo code BLEAV76ers. You can find that right there for a 10% welcome deposit bonus. And that promo code is BLEAV76ers, BLEAV 76ers. The Kutt App. Put your money where your mouth is. I look forward to seeing you on the app. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Bleav In 76ers podcast. I'm Marcus Dash here with legendary 76ers point guard Eric Snow and my brother Teja Dash. Obviously, kind of a mixed weekend. We won that Cavs game, and then the Bucks game didn't go as well as a lot of us would want it to go. But nonetheless, 1-1 at least. At least we'll take the Cavs win. But before we get into the Sixers and the NBA world, I wanted to ask your opinion on something, Eric. Obviously, Michigan State star on the college basketball courts. There's a whole big thing going on about storming the court, Eric, and a lot of people are saying that since the Wake Forest Duke game, they need to outlaw court storming. What are your thoughts on court storming, Eric?
You know what? It's interesting because I've never really been against it, and I've never really been for it. I've never really. It was just you do it. I have noticed a trend currently that it's like happening more often. It used to be just like a championship or, a big time game or a big time upset. But now it's just like, you're in your conference, teams are storming the field and you got to win, and you got a winning record. You know what I'm saying? You got a winning record. And you're storming the field against a team that's a ranked team. Like, I just think it's probably happening a little too often. It's kind of like, from that standpoint, it's kind of hard because it's always been a risk of injury. That's always been a risk. I think with it happening so much, I do feel that schools need to do more, either prevent it or set up some kind of court from a certain part of the court where you got a chance to get players off the court. Because I know when my son, last game I was at Michigan State, when they beat Michigan, they were both undefeated. The students were going to storm the field, but they had armed policemen sitting outside the student section, and they didn't try it. So I do think you need to have a rope system where you kind of cut off an area, or you have armed policemen that are in a specific area that keep the players from everyone else. Or if you're not going to do that, then you have to try a way to totally prevent it ever happening. Because I've been stuck in when I was young, and my brother, I went up to a game when he played football at Michigan State, and they won the game that they clinched the Big Ten title. I had told my parents, if they win the game, I'm going to run on the field and storm, if everybody run on the field, I'm going to go out there. One of the worst decisions I ever made in my life. Now I know I was younger and smaller, and I barely went on the field, and I was like, that was the worst decision I ever made. You couldn't do anything, so you didn't have cell phones back then, so it was just people like it was. I was like, so I'm kind of. I just think we gotta do a better job of safeguarding it if that's what we're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
If you're still going to allow it, because I know finding the schools isn't changing anything.
Yeah.
So some safety precautions have to be put in place.
Yeah.
Maybe letting the losing team leave the court first, and then the floodgates open. I don't know.
Yeah, something has to be done.
Yeah. But it is true. It does seem like it's happening a lot more often, and it's kind of losing its. I know it's losing its luster, but like it was usually reserved, like you kind of mentioned, it was reserved for like the bigger moments, like the championship games, or like an unranked team that's like had a losing record beating like a number 1 or 2 seed, not like a team with a winning record at home against the number 8 seed.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's happening a little more too often. That's why the attention is being put on there. And then you have obviously 2 important players in 2 different sports. You can imagine all the incidents that happen in football. It's even more.
Yeah.
And also, too, it being Duke also is going to highlight a lot of things.
But it has to be. Player. It has to be. It has to be. It's college students because it doesn't happen in the professional leagues.
No.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's it's the college students and they're they're enjoying their moment. So
yeah,
I think first off, you have to find some kind of safety precautions. Then you can deal with how you're going to handle it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the storming the court, storming the field is one cool thing that is like kind of isolated to college sports. So to get rid of it altogether, that would suck. That's one cool thing that college sports has that the professional sports doesn't have. And so losing that, to ban it altogether, that'd be losing something kind of big of college sports. Is that kind of fandom aspect of it?
I feel like they're also much more connected because they're all students. So the players, students, all one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I saw someone make a point, like how professional sports, you got multi-million-dollar tied into these players and stuff, so that's why you don't see the stampedes coming out, the storming and stuff. But now with college athletes getting paid as much as they are million-dollar kind of investments for these schools. But that's why you'd want to keep them safe, like to prevent these Flipkowski kind of injuries and stuff that happens with the stampedes and such.
How injured is he? Have you heard anything about like an update on that? Like what his actual injury is? No,
I don't. No. I think he got injured, but it wasn't anything that's keeping him out.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought it was an interesting thing that happened this week, and I had to ask your opinion on it, Eric. Okay, so now we're gonna get to kind of the rough news and talking about our Sixers after that domination by Doc and the Bucks on Sunday. So, as in the opener, we mentioned that we beat the Cavs, one of the top 2 teams in the East, and then followed by Sunday getting dominated by the Bucks. Doc's return to Philadelphia, Pat Bev's return to Philadelphia. So I just want to kind of ask you guys a few things here. Is there any positives that we can pull from what we've seen over the last 2 games, or are we just kind of like trying to survival mode until Embiid gets back? And then Eric, I wanted to ask you a specific question to you. If you were a veteran leader on this squad, what would you be telling the guys it is seemingly us just kind of waiting until Embiid gets back and just trying to weather the storm until Embiid gets back. What would you tell some of the guys in the squad if you were a veteran leader on this team?
I mean, first off, it has to be, this is where it's a little different because um, when I played, it was more of kind of getting your rhythm in practice and establishing how you're going to play and what you're going to do and getting your camaraderie that way. Whereas now I'm not sure they practice as much. So, um,
True.
but you have to find a way that, number one, everyone has to be connected. Everyone has to be in a situation where they are in one unison of what they're doing. We're going to come out back. That has to be number one. That you can't be outworked. Teams can't play harder than you. And then you have to go and trust your body of work and do the things you're capable of doing and try to do it collectively and try to do it together. But that has to be a point of emphasis for the buy-in. You have to buy into what your role is. You have to buy into what it is you're supposed to be doing. And the tough part about that happening when Joel isn't playing is like now all of a sudden expectations and demands on guys are increasing.
Yep.
And it's harder for some guys to meet that on a consistent basis. But at the end of the day, the effort can't never be questioned. And then because effort and togetherness can win you some games in this league, and especially when you have your best player out, like that has to always be the staple of who you are. And try to do some fun things with them when you're on the road. Try to do some things together. Have some fun, get away from it a little bit. Those are the things that I'll kind of try to do to kind of weather the storm until Joel gets back. But at the end of the day, it's still about playing hard and competing and just trying to believe that you can still win games, which they've proven they can do. It's just that we haven't been able to consistently do it the way we did when Joel played.
Do you see a lack of effort in some of these games?
No, I do not see a lack of effort. And effort isn't always from a standpoint of what you see is like somebody playing hard or it's a loose ball and you don't dive on the ground. Effort can be being in the right place at the right time, making the extra pass that's needed, boxing out,
doing the right
every
thing.
time, doing all the little things and things that you need to do to help your team win, to make sure that we're giving ourselves the best chance to do it, the best chance to win games, because all those little small details matter. So taking care of all the small details on a consistent basis, and sometimes it has to be done with effort. Guys may take a break this possession and not be locked into ball laying man, and all of a sudden your man get a back door. Those are things you got to be locked in. That's effort. That's effort and awareness into locked in the woman. Now you should be doing that all the time, but the details of it do increase when you don't.
I sometimes think, because I look around the league to watching shorthanded teams like Memphis, for instance. Memphis, no matter who they lose, they seem to be in a lot of their games. Yeah, they do get blown out. But, I look at a box score and I see Memphis is down by like 2 points in the third quarter. I'm like, how? They have like 6 active players tonight. How the hell are they like in this game? But then we have an all-star. We have a max player. We have one of the top shooters in the league. We have Oubre, who's a 20-point scorer in this league. Batum is a legit basketball player. We have like real players, right? We have just without Embiid on paper, we're a better team than a lot of teams, even healthy teams. Do you think it's because we're so like perfectly built for the guy we're missing that when he's out, we're at such a disadvantage? I'm trying to put together why we're as bad as we are sometimes without Joel, because we're still a good team. But I think we're just so tailor-made for his skill set that when he's out, it's like, oh, you have all the bullets for a gun you don't have anymore. What the hell are you going to do with that now?
I mean, good question, honestly. I'll kind of compare it to when we had our team with AI. Were we necessarily the best fit for him? We were a great fit for him. Maybe not the best fit because we didn't necessarily put a lot of shooting around him. But the one thing that was consistent with and without him was we were a very good defensive team.
Yes.
So we were always in a lot of games if AI didn't play because we were always consistently good on defense. And I think that's where the difference is now. I think we're capable of winning games, but I do feel a lot of times that we try to win a lot of games offensively more so than defensively. We try to outscore a lot of people. The emphasis of guys getting numbers becomes relevant and obvious to me that guys are seeking shots and the attention on offensive end seems to be higher than defensively. And I think in order for this to kind of change to be more of a consistent winning ways, the defensive intensity has to be increased, maintain consistency. And then you offensively, we already know we can score. But that other side of the ball has to be addressed, and it has to be addressed consistently.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with a lot of that. Yeah, it's frustrating because we are a good team with and without him, and we just don't play like. And I think it was Maury that said a while ago about like missing Joel because a lot of the guys we have are so perfect for Joel. He didn't say this exactly, but they have flaws, and Joel is good at covering up people's flaws, especially on the defensive end because he's an anchor down there, right? So when you have guys who can't do certain things on defense, Joel will cover some of those things up. So when you lose him, not only are you losing the offense, which is clear as 35 points plus per game, but you're missing the anchor on your defense. So it's like it's not just one of those guys that you can just, make up for it, defensively, right? Because AI wasn't, I'm going to say he was probably your fifth best defensive player on the court out of your starting five, probably. I mean, so it's a big difference between losing that. So all you guys had to really do is make up for one side of the ball.
That's not a problem.
Yeah. So all you got to do is make up for your one side of the ball. Whereas with Joel, you have to make up for both, like everything. It's hard, man. It's really hard.
Yeah, I mean, I think, but I do think like the offensive side is what people, especially from the outside, focus on more. They'll focus on when guys don't score, Tobias isn't scoring enough, or this guy isn't scoring enough, or Maxey's shooting percentage isn't high enough. And some games still with that if you're being consistent on the defensive end.
Yeah.
So does Joel make us better defensively? Yeah, I'm sure he does. But that shouldn't be. We can't if we say we're taking his 35 points away, so now we're struggling on offense, and we take him off the team. He's not playing, and then we're struggling on defense. Then we're looking at an 8th seed. But let's just go ahead and wrap it up. If that's going to be if that's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
So something has to change. Something has to change. Now, I know Milwaukee was a tough out, and Cleveland, we got the benefit of Mitchell not playing. But Milwaukee is the way that Dame and Giannis played. They defended too. I mean, they felt 3 out of their last 6 opponents under 100 points.
And their other guys stepped up too. It wasn't just Dame and Giannis. The other guys, Beasley, a lot of those guys were hitting their shots.
Yeah, they killed us at shooting.
Beasley shots, yeah, but Beasley only took like 9 shots. He just made them. That's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah,
it's just he made them shots, and they also didn't have their quote unquote third best player.
Yeah.
Yeah, and on top of that, I'm looking at the team stats right now. I'm pretty sure. You know what? I thought they killed us a lot more on the boards than that. It's funny. I look at a lot. While watching our games, I think teams obliterate us on the boards, and then when I look at the actual numbers, they're not that bad, but it seemed like a lot worse. They only beat us by 6 in the rebounding, but I thought it was much worse than that.
What was the free throw margin?
Yeah,
I feel like that was a pretty big disparity.
No. Oh yeah. I mean, yeah. 18-11.
Oh, that's another thing that stood out to me more. I thought they had a lot more free throws than that. Only 7.
Yeah, I mean, they field goal percentage. They killed us 54-37. That's the game. You know, it's a lot. I mean, they shot more and they made more and shot less. So anytime that happens, you're going to have a lot of success, which is crazy because when I remember I was on the phone with you at one point, Marcus, and I was like, man, look at all the points off turnovers we have and the amount of turnovers they had. It was like we should be way closer in this game. But then you look at the field goal percentage and 3-point percentages, and it was just like, oh, well, there you go. That's why.
Yeah. Did you guys see any? Obviously, it was a tough loss, but were there any kind of like bright spots? Or like, you know what, that's pretty good. Like the one thing that stood out to me in this game was Melton. Melton looked pretty damn good in this game, and that was like only his second game back. That's the one bright spot that I saw from this game. Anything that you guys noticed that we can maybe have like a little silver lining?
Melton shot. Yeah, he shot the ball well, and he was aggressive offensively. But I think with Melton, what's going to be important going forward is you look around, you look at all the playoff teams, or most of the playoff teams, most of the ones that we're going to play, they have guards and perimeter players that he's going to have to defend. So that's going to have to be a point of emphasis also. Slowing down something from him or whoever comes with. I think that playing him more and freeing up Maxey from that responsibility helps. And that's because we're playing Kyle with Maxey but same Lillard. So I think that's where Melton is going to have to come through more for us. But I do think he played well offensively.
Yeah. Yeah, that was definitely a bright spot. I mean, Hield's played. Hield didn't have the best game, but he's played pretty well. Maxey without Embiid has played pretty well. He can't make up for what we lose with Embiid, but he's it's not one of those things where he's back down or with the more attention he's gotten, he's clearly worse. Like none of that's true, right? So I think, two things are definitely clear. Well, more than that, but we need to make it a higher point emphasis in the offseason to get a legit backup big. I think that is obvious. Okay. Like they need to get that. Two, we pretty much just need to hold on like Ric Flair and like a Royal Rumble until Embiid gets back. Just like hold on to those ropes, man, until he comes back. Because I mean, it looks like we're holding off them until our the cavalry comes and saves us is what we're doing. But a long way to go.
Yeah. Just looking at the plus minus from that game, I didn't realize Oubre had the worst plus minus on our team, minus 21. Paul Reed minus 20.
And Lowry, Lowry looked good too. I know he didn't fill up the, he didn't have a lot. He only shot twice. But talking about making the right plays and effort, that's a guy that's doing those things that you talked about. It's not always diving for basketballs. It's being in the right place, making the right plays, taking that charge, doing those kind of things. Like he's definitely a good guy to have.
Yeah, he's going to have some maturity and discipline to the game. That's definitely going to be there. planning with Maxey and how that's going to look when we're playing against top guards. That's all I'm asking. But if it's a short stint, then I'm fine. But I'm just talking about the long stint.
Yeah.
Playing that lineup. Looks small to Milwaukee back.
I'm sorry, Eric, say that again. You say you look small compared to Milwaukee?
We look small to a Milwaukee backcourt that's not considered a big backcourt.
Yeah, it's true. And that's without Middleton, but he doesn't really play 2 anymore. He's more like a 3 now.
Yeah, there was a funny stat that
but Middleton's considered the 3. He's not even considered the 2.
Yeah.
There was a funny stat that I saw on Twitter this week or after the game on Sunday that Lowry's already taken more charges in his short 76ers career than Tobias has this entire career in Philadelphia. 1 charge taken to 0. Obviously, not every guy's doing that, but just I thought that was funny. So to talk about Tobias, we're going to continue to Tobias talk in this next topic here. So one of the Teja's guy Tobias. So after the game on Sunday, Maxey was asked about Tobias Harris's recent struggles, and he put a lot of it on himself. Quote, "I think that's probably on me. I got to do a better job of getting him better shots and getting him in better spots to be successful." Eric, a question for you here. As a point guard, what do you think about what Maxey says? He just trying to be a nice guy, putting it on himself, or are there really things he can do to make Tobias's job more successful and get him more open looks and easy looks?
Well, I mean, I think it's the right thing to say. You kind of take away the whole what he said and what I said thing. So you own some of it. So that's the right thing to do. Is it necessary? But I said it was necessary. I felt that was part of Maxey's responsibility to get him shots and plays. But I felt it was also Nick Nurse's responsibility. So on Tobias to be aggressive and make it happen. So I do feel it's a collective issue if he isn't being aggressive. Now, if he's getting 15 and 20 shots and he's not converting, that's solely on him. But him getting 9 shots is I believe is a combination.
Yeah,
now,
he was 6th in attempts.
I don't know if I What'd you say?
I said that he was 6th in attempts on our team. Shot attempts.
That's what I'm talking. So, I mean, some of it, like it's happened now so often that you can't necessarily say. Some of it, Tobias is going to have to own because it's a lot of these guys that are here now wasn't here before. So he's going to have to own some of it, and Maxey got to make it happen. He's not really getting as many wide open corner shots as he did plays, and we know why. He's also one of them, and correct me if I'm wrong, Teja, that at the beginning of the year talked about how great the offense was.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Well, what happened then?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because you can run any offense and put Joel in there, and people gonna get wide open shots.
Yeah. But you mentioned that too. Batum said that they can't sit there and rely on Maxey to try and score 50. They have to like move the ball and get out and run and actually have an offense. So,
yeah.
That's
where so you go back to what I said at the beginning of the show. That's where them not practicing as much comes into play.
Yep.
Especially the huge roster overhaul that we did.
Yes, with all the changes. So the guys really hadn't really played together a lot like that. Especially with the James trade coming so late in the quote-unquote preseason.
Yeah.
Then Joel gets down, and then you have an all-star break, and it's just like still trying to figure it out. And then guys have been out. Milton has been out. Now you bring in Kyle. Tobias is missing games. Batum has been out. So they collectively, haven't had anybody. And Kelly was out earlier in the season, figuring it out on the fly.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, I believe that was Tobias's quote in the offseason. The ball's moving from both sides of the court, and the ball's moving around really well in comparison to last year. So, yeah. This ball's not moving that much, I guess.
I applaud Maxey for saying those things. I think that's the right way a leader, up-and-coming young guy becoming a leader says. But, I mean... Should he be putting it on himself? Yeah, to some degree, but Tobias has been in the league for way too long to have to need Maxey to get him those looks. I mean, he had James Harden last year. And James Harden's one of the best passers of all time. And if James Harden can't get you the amount of open looks that it takes to get successful, good shots, then Maxey's not going to do that. I mean, if James couldn't get you those, then Maxey's not going to. So I don't see how that's going to get any better with Maxey at the helm being a point guard when James couldn't do it for you. I just look, man, we talked about Tobias for years now. It's interesting because it's a fit problem. But the weird thing is that it's without Joel. So it's like now out of all times, grab the ball and shoot 15, 20 times. Like just demand the ball. But again, we're talking about someone's personality and fit. And that's just not his thing. It's not his personality. He's not a quick acting, quick twitch player, quick decision player. Just get it up, just get the shot out. He's an ISO. He likes to slow it down. He likes to pump fake. He likes to back someone down, get a matchup. And just, I mean, it doesn't work. It's just not working.
And Nurse said after the last game he wants to up the tempo. He wants to up the pace and the tempo for our offense. He thinks we're not going as fast as he'd like. So does that bode well for Tobias if we are going to up the tempo of the offense?
I don't know. I don't necessarily. I can't necessarily say it helps. It could help with the create more attempts for the team totally, but I still stand on what I said. It has to be a pointed emphasis to get him the basketball. Playing faster is just playing faster. He's a pointed emphasis player, especially with Joel out.
Mm-hmm.
So what you'll have a game, if you don't do that, you'll have a game where he has 15, 16, 17 shots, and then you'll have
So let me ask you a question, Eric. Like, does Tobias to be successful, to reach his full potential, does he have to be the number one option in an offense? Like, can he be a complementary player with the way he plays?
but it also depends on how your number one player is used. You know what I'm saying? So if you have your number one player that plays 15, 70 feet and he's an ISO player, it's going to be hard to have your second option, third option, do the exact same thing.
Yeah.
So I Bleav that it's heading to the point where in order for Tobias to play that same way, think you all can remember back then. Corliss they started McDyess and Ben and then obviously they started all those guys, but it was a point of emphasis whenever Corliss Williamson came in the game. The scouting report knew they're going to him. They're going to him. He's getting the ball and he's scoring.
Okay.
So however you do it, I'm not saying he needs to come off the bench. I'm just saying it needs to be a point of emphasis if you're having the expectations for him to do it. If the team may very well not have the expectations for him to do that because they didn't particularly, they know his contract is ending, so they may not be committed to him being that type of player. I'm just saying, from all the demands and all of what people are asking, how it gets done. They don't play that way anymore. So that's what I'm saying. That supposed to have this free-flowing offense that everybody liked, but we're still in the same spot.
Yeah.
Because it needs to be done a certain way. You have to be specific in making sure he gets shots and attempts. And whether he makes them falls on him. But if you don't put him in that situation, he'll catch and shoot, but that's not what he does.
No.
That's not what he does. Maybe he could go offensive rebound more. He can do that, but that messes with the offense because it's not free flowing, it's not spacing, it's not leaving the middle open. So it's
tough.
Like, is that what playing fast means? So it's probably best for this team right now to start games going to Tobias. Start every game that way.
Yeah. They actually they did that in the Cleveland game, I think. He had like 5 or 6 attempts in that first quarter, I Bleav.
Yeah. He was pretty aggressive in the beginning of that game.
Yeah.
Start every game like that.
Yeah.
He won't take a lot of bad shots. He won't take bad shots.
No, he doesn't.
But start every game and see what you got. Maxey's shown that he don't need to take a lot of shots early to. That's what I said. But Maxey has shown he doesn't need to take a lot of shots early to score.
Yeah, he can get going at any time. Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll see what the fast tempo offense looks like tonight against Boston. So you guys mentioned possibly being the 8th seed going into the playoffs, and this could be a potential preview of a playoff matchup with Boston Celtics tonight on TNT at 7:30. We are currently a 12.5-point underdog against Boston, which is just ridiculous. 12.5-point underdog against Boston. Who do you guys have tonight? And do you guys think we'll cover the spread, or do you think Boston's going to cover this big number?
I don't think we win, so I don't think we get. I think we'll make it a little closer.
So you think we cover?
Yeah, I think we cover. I think it's. I don't think we win it, but I do think we cover.
We'll see your big bounce back.
It's a huge spread. I think they work us. Yeah, I don't think we cover it. I think they beat us. I mean, I don't want to go by the logic of they're even better than Milwaukee, and Milwaukee beat us by 21. But I just at Boston 2 on top of it. I just don't feel like we think we can win games against good teams without Joel, and that's a problem. And against one of the best teams who takes care of business, I just don't think it's going to happen here either. I think it'll be competitive for a portion of the game, but I think at the end of the game they end up winning by more than 12.
This is the third time we played Boston, and if I remember correctly, the last time we played Boston, we were without some of our guys in that one. Beverly had his highest point total in a few years against them. Yeah, we didn't have Maxey. We lost by 6, and we didn't have Maxey or Embiid. And the starting lineup, actually, they played really well. And that was at Boston, too. So, I mean, we could. I mean, that game was a close one. Beverly 26, Melton 21, Paul Reed 14, Marcus Morris 13, Tobias Harris 14, Robert Covington 18, Mo Bamba 11. Everyone contributed in that game.
We played like a team, though, right? Like, whereas right now we have looks like we have no chemistry out there. They're trying to figure it out. Like most of these guys, like you said, have been out, haven't played together. Some of these guys have played like 1 or 2 games together at this point. Like we're just, it's a pickup game for us right now. We're like, all right, you. All right, you're my 5. 5, raise your hand. That's our team right now. It's like
Shooting for teams.
Yeah, we pretty much are, man. Who started today? All right, first 5 to make it start. I just don't think we have that. We don't have chemistry, and you can't. I mean, like you said, there's no practice. There's not enough practice time for these guys to get to know each other on the court. We're doing it on the fly.
Yeah. Well, hopefully it's not a blowout. I mean, TNT. I'm hoping for the fact that's a primetime game. We just had a primetime game Sunday where we kind of got blown out in that one. Hopefully they're not going to allow 2 games in order to be blowouts for us.
Not going to allow. We've gotten blown out a lot of our primetime games, by the way.
Yeah.
Like the NBA had really bad luck scheduling Philadelphia's primetime games, man. We've had a lot of blowouts for our primetime games.
You run the risk with that with the Sixers and Embiid, man. I
think next year you're going to see a big downer on Sixers primetime games, man.
Well, it depends what we do in the offseason. If we bring some high caliber guys in to go with Max and Embiid, I think they'll stick with that. But yeah, you're right.
Yeah, we'll see. A long way to go till that happens. But
yeah, let's just try to survive and avoid the play-in games. All right, guys. Well, we'll see you guys Friday.
Yeah, we'll see.
Looks like we don't have any. So this is the only game we have until our show on Friday. So yeah, the next game we have is Friday night against Charlotte. So yeah, we gotta win this Boston game. Then we take a few days off and then regroup on Friday.
Yep.
I hope. All right, fellas. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. We'll see you guys Friday.
All right.
Later on.
Take it easy, everybody.
All right. Take it easy.